Last time on Almost Heroes.
We picked up in Whitport, talking to Cedric about the information that he had uncovered about the Red Hand symbol, which turned out to be a symbol that it likely originated from the Far Realm and is tied in some way to Mind Flayer. We questioned our rebel captive, Red. He was indeed a member of the rebel faction in the north known as the Revivifists. According to Red, the Revivifists claim the old gods are not completely gone. They may have discovered a way to bring them back. After picking up Red's fellow Revivifist companion, a charismatic orc bard named Nybarg, the five of us headed out of Whitport towards Tin Town. Along the way, Nybarg invited us to accompany them north to Ghost Shear to meet the Revivifists and find out more about their claim, as well as recommending a good spot to camp to think it over. We set up camp in the hills of Quietlands underneath the alcove and settled down for rest.
But yeah, with that, we can pick up with episode 18, Divergence. You all had kind of settled down for what I realized after was not really a night's rest. It was your time. Your sleeping timetable is a little bit messed up right now. So
I almost said that.
We're gonna be picking up at about when the sun's going down. As you guys are all waking up from your long rests, and you all had settled down in the Quietlands, which is this kind of like hilly, rocky, grassy, open expanse of land, and you were in this kind of like alcove underneath this kind of hillock that's raised up and kind of like rocks around you, kind of on the path, but about 30 minutes off of the road, just north of the road that goes between Tin Town and Whitport, and also goes to other cities, though we haven't visited them yet. But so with that, it's like I said, it's getting about dusk now, and I believe Rangrim and Glyn were kind of set up and were sleeping in the carts alongside with Kalogny, the donkey, and Cosmo had set up his bedroll on the ground kind of near the fire and was sleeping there. And then I believe Red was also sleeping because he had a pretty rough night with the soldiers and the beatings and whatnot. And Nybarg had decided that he had already slept enough and was going to keep watch while you all took a rest. So, Glenn, since you're the first one to be waking up, what would you be doing?
So I'd be kind of slowly opening my eyes. Okay, first of all, I need to know, do elves close their eyes when they go into the trance, or do I just like laser beam look at nothing for like 4 hours and just real creepy?
What does your heart tell you?
I'm just gonna hope he closes his eyes.
I think Nybarg hopes you close your eyes too.
Yeah, I'm just staring at him.
Right.
Anyways,
he's just having a conversation with you and just being like, "Man, he's so rude. He doesn't talk
say
back."
anything for 4 hours. All right, I digress.
This elf just really doesn't say anything. It's very odd.
Yeah, he's a dick. So, I slowly like open my eyes, and do I see Nybarg just kind of by the fire?
Yeah. So you wake up, and Nybarg seems like he's kind of preparing to cook another one of his kind of like preserved meat and bread meals in preparation for like people to be up with like shortly, I guess.
Okay, so while he's kind of fixing his food and like tend to the fire, I'm going to quite literally sneak away. I'm gonna hop out the cart and just kind of take my stuff and sneak into the forest.
So there's no forest.
I guess, yeah, what's around me.
So it's a kind of like rolling hills, kind of a hilly expanse and stones. So like you can kind of go up on the ledge if you want, or you can kind of sneak around the hills. But if you want to roll me a stealth check, we can see how well you sneak out.
That is a good one. That's a 28.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that was a good one. Like a solid.
I would just find like a little secluded space and just kind of cut a nice little circle in the ground, I guess, just draw a circle in the ground with my double-bladed scimitar and stand in it, and just begin just kind of my morning routine and just kind of say out loud to Chandra, I was like, hey man, we've been heading all sorts of different directions and I keep getting all sorts of challenges, but that girl, she has not shown up, and I'm gonna need you to muster up some energy and see if you can't maybe guide her my way a little bit, or at least, maybe give me a clue.
So you, without a sound, you as you kind of do your quiet prayer to Chandrel, she just appears in front of you as if like just suddenly is there. This kind of like semi spectral form that's all kind of out of blue, wearing similar clothing to you, and has her hair up in a tight bun, and then kind of like she just appears in front of you as Glenyaris. Good morning. Yes, it seems that this figure is continuing to trouble you. I've thought much about this. I think the best we can do is to prepare you at this time. To make sure that when she does appear, if she appears, that you're ready.
I could not agree more, but I think you need to get your eyes checked. It's just about dusk. It's definitely not the morning, but maybe different time zones.
Sorry, there's we lose a little bit track of time in the astral plane.
I feel you. Well, what do you have in mind? What kind of training can we do? I feel like if she was, not as much of a coward and actually took me face to face, we'd be set. It's when she gets the drop. What can I do for that?
Well, seems to me that maybe you need to be training more of your perception, your ability to perceive attacks before they happen.
I swing at her with my double-bladed scimitar.
It goes right through her, and then she disappears, and you feel kind of like the pressure of a knife point at your back. And you look behind you, and she has appeared and is holding just kind of like, she's not even looking at you. She has her double-bladed scimitar back and is poking you in the back and goes, I see we have some room for improvement.
He starts chuckling. He's like, it's just playing a little joke. Come on, you know how it is. I spin around, just start dueling with her.
Yeah, awesome. So what she's doing is this time around, she's actually throwing in a little bit more of like stealth and diversionary tactics, where she's disappearing and she's hoping that she's like manifesting herself in a way where like you can kind of feel there is interaction with like the wind and like sound a little bit more than normal. And she's like trying to make it so that you can kind of like perceive her attacks. So can you roll me a perception?
It's not bad. It's a 12 plus 6, 18.
Awesome. Yeah, so you're able to pretty much pick up most of them. She's you're able to like kind of like, she'll disappear from in front of you as if you're going down a swing. Like she'll literally just disappear and appear behind you, and like you're able to like pretty much like maybe 60-70% of the time you're able to like bring up your scimitar in a way to like catch her behind you or to perceive the attacks before. And she seems very pleased. And after a little bit of time, like you're probably like getting pretty worn and tired. Maybe like, I don't know how long you normally practice with her. 30 minutes, something like that?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds about right.
She seems like her form seems to be getting a little bit like, and you've noticed this when you've dealt with her for longer periods of time. Like it seems like she only can persist on this plane for like a limited period of time, and it seems like it's getting harder for her to manifest herself. And she goes, Glenyaris, you impress me, and she disappears.
I'll catch you later, Chandrel. And I take the kind of the blunt face of like the scimitar and kind of etch away the circle so it doesn't look like anyone's ever there. And I fold it back up into the robes that I carried in. I throw it in my back, and I try to sneak back into the cart without getting noticed.
Nice. Yeah. Let's say that pretty shortly after you get back, maybe like you're kind of moving the cart. It actually kind of rouses Rangrim. So Rangrim, what do you do as you kind of wake up?
Well, the first thing Rangrim would do is he's actually just wakes up and he just starts petting Kalagni, his new favorite companion. And then off to the side of the cart, he takes his gear and his shield, and he starts performing his ritual to imbue his shield to be +1, which that only takes a few minutes. And then I would then start conducting an hour-long ritual where I'm actually creating something. It would be one portion of a set of plate mail that he's going to be creating over the hour, and then refining it whenever he can get to a forge.
Are you utilizing your Ring of Rituals?
Yes, I would be. So that would actually only be a half hour.
Yeah. So does that change your ritual at all? The way, because like using the Ring of Rituals in any way, like does that change anything you do?
Well, again, most of the time, how I imagine it when he's actually just creating things, because it's more or less I would have the material and he focuses on it and it starts coalescing and melting into shapes. in front of him. I just imagine the ring's probably glowing and has some sort of fire coming off of it, and that's just all happening at a much more rapid pace, and it might even be noisy at this point. There's like some clanging happening.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So as you're kind of handling this, especially because you're doing like a ritual that is taking quite a while, Cosmo, you kind of start like, well, actually, Rangrim and Glenn, you would see that Nybark has kind of now prepared the food and is kind of set up a little teepee over the fire with a little pan and is started to like the smell of like and kind of like crackling smell of like that cured meat and kind of bread that's roasting over it as well. Like Cosmo, that kind of like wafts into your little section, your little bedroll, and so you wake up to the smell of a meal cooking. So what do you do?
No, I don't think. I think for the most part, when Cosmo would wake up, he would kind of roll over very cautiously. I don't know that he was very certain about Nybarg or Red, and just kind of take a awareness of everything around him before kind of moving too much.
You would at that time see Glenn kind of come sit by where your feet were, just like a not really saying much, just sitting down, letting you rest.
But otherwise, yeah, I think when he would feel that, like, would probably just kind of start to sit up slowly. Notice that it's starting to get dark.
Yeah, it's like the sun's going down currently and the stars are kind of starting to come out.
Well, this seems a little bit upside down, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily cycles to this thing, but I think we're out of the loop. We need to get back on track.
I slept last night. I slept a little bit this day. I've been doing a lot of sleeping, and I'm ready for some eating. So, hey, Nybog, what you cooking?
Oh, just the my specialty, meat and bread.
It's good. It's Did you make some to share?
Oh, of course. What kind of orc do you think I am? Always welcome.
Know what kind of meat it is, or is it just generic, like off the shelf meat?
Oh, don't worry. I certainly know what kind of meat it is.
Well, Glenn, you can't say much with all those DOS dogs that you used to eat, and you barely knew what was in them.
No, he told us it was rats, and there's a secret ingredient he never really shared, huh?
But yeah, that's right.
You see Glenn just kind of turn a little green, just like kind of aware.
The ghost of the ghost of DOS in your head just goes, the secret is underdog rats. You can still actually hear the sounds of what sounds like rolling snores coming from Red, who is just like, his feet are just sticking out of the pretty large tent that Nybark had set up for the two of them. Nybark kind of seems like he's finishing up the meal, and he just kind of starts passing out plates to all of you with just kind of some charred, pretty rough and like big pieces of bread that have kind of soaked in the oils of the kind of the cured meats, and just like some cuttings of some sausage rolls or whatever, and just pass it around to y'all.
Hey there,
and then just sits down himself.
Your friend there is kind of a heavy sleeper, yeah?
He seems like he had quite a rough day. I hope that you all didn't have too much to do with that.
Well, I mean, we're an often misunderstood group, but we only have the best intentions of mind, or at least Cosmo does, and then he gets mad at us if we don't. But eventually we do the right thing. But maybe Cosmo, you want to look the other way on this one, but you want to pull a plank on little Bogdan real quick? See if we can't trick him a little bit before he wakes up.
I know. A plank?
A prank? Excuse me. Accent caught me. You wouldn't happen to have any shaving cream, would you? Something we could whip up into a quick lather. I mean, I see you are kind of like a well-shaved orc. You're a pretty boy. Do you have any on you?
I do enjoy a good plank or prank, but fine. I do have some. Okay, but don't tell him. And then he pulls out this kind of like powder that in a satchel that he pours a little bit out into a little like a little bowl, like a little stone bowl, and then adds a little bit of water from his water skin in it, and kind of mixes it up into a lather and hands it over to you and goes, "All right, I just want the bowl back, and do not tell him."
Well, he certainly didn't get it from me.
I was gonna say it's gonna be Cosmo brand shaving cream, so don't worry about it. And I sneak over and proceed to place a small amount in his hand.
When you go in there, you see that he is buck nude.
Nice, perfect. It gives me an even better idea. So I well, actually, first I check to see if there's anything that's like, you know, maybe hangs like small cans or like silverware in case someone messes with his tent, like a little like trip alarm. I check to see if there's any small tricks.
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
Ooh, nice. 22.
Why don't you do this when we're attacking?
Because I use them now.
Yeah, you go in there, and it doesn't. You don't know whether it was set up as a tripwire or anything like that, but there are a couple like ale glasses as well as like some other cups that are kind of like hanging from the door. So you're able to sidestep past those and without disturbing them.
Well, once I see that, I would just stay outside, and I would, with my mage hand, just scoop a little bit and apply it to his hand very gently.
Okay.
And then I would tickle his nose with my mage hand. Invisible mage hand. But I would do it, I would set it, and then I would like be well out of view of the tent, just little tickles.
He smacks himself very hard in the face. I just rolled a 18 for an attack on himself. So he just smacks himself in the face so hard and just
and I quickly throw the bowl to Nybarg, and I sit down and act like I did nothing.
And you just hear like the cans and all the glasses just like start clanging around in there. And he comes stumbling out of the tent, still buck nude, with shaving cream all over his face and a very red handprint on his like kind of that you can see is kind of like bleeding into his red facial hair.
Cosmo, I think you're right, man. This meat and bread combination that Nybarg put together for us is just fantastic.
It sure is. Red, you're not wearing any pants, friend.
Ah, fuck. Okay, and he goes back in the tent. Yeah, so it probably gives you a pretty uncomfortable view too as he bends over to go pick up his clothes out the tent.
Wait, it's just in the tent, man, in the tent, all the way. That's not right.
So, yeah, as that happening, can you all roll me perception checks?
No, I refuse to perceive that.
At least it's not a Constitution saving throw.
It's
15.
It's an 8.
Good. You've got all the good rolls.
The balance is back.
You said perception?
Yeah.
A 16.
Okay. So you all are there, and you're dealing with this troubling visage that you've just seen. And Cosmo and Rangrim, you start hearing what sounds like, kind of from up on top of the hill, it sounds like kind of rustling a little bit. And then you start hearing voices these kind of rough, guttural voices that seem to be kind of mixed in with these kind of like a little bit of cackling, like a little bit of like kind of a sniggering or a little bit of a laugh. And you just hear like some whispered voices with that same kind of tremor in their voice, but these ones are good. Alton's they're gonna love these ones. You hear that coming from up on top of the hill and kind of a little bit of movement. And this would be up above you, so you guys are down essentially in this kind of alcove within these hills, and this is probably raised up about 8 feet or so.
Cosmo would just get up from where he was sitting, kind of nonchalantly, walk back over to his bedding, and pick up his weapons.
Okay.
And
the meat's already dead, Cosmo. You don't have to kill it again.
Well, you see, I know your elf ears are a little hard of hearing at times, But,
What?
right. But I think we're not alone out here. I hear something's not right.
Something is not right. Indeed. And Rangram would have already had his shield on his back and pulls out his shield and his hammer and casts 8 on the party. 5 temporary hit points.
Okay.
Nybarg, I don't know what you did to piss them off. And I just start to pull out my weapons but I've been wanting to do this since I met you. And I take an attacking stance at Nybarg.
Okay, Nybarg, who didn't perceive this at all, is kind of taken by surprise. Like, what is going on? What's going on?
Right. I don't know what it is. There's something out there, and it thinks we're funny.
I need Glenn. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
12.
Okay. You both, Rangram, actually all of you see it, but Glenn, you get to experience it firsthand. So does Nybarg. Two nets come flying down off the top, and they kind of have weighted ends on them, and they come down and wrap around Glenn, and you fall down to your side, and you are restrained. And Nybarg. The same thing happens to him, and he's a little bit bigger, so he kind of falls sideways onto one of the logs you all have been sitting on around the fire, and just kind of falls on the side. You hear the wind come out of him, and then he kind of falls on the side as well. And you both are restrained as you're wrapped up in these nets. And then I need Cosmo. You see an arrow come flying down and stick into your bedroll next to you. And Rangram, you see one come flying down and stick in a cart next to you as well, as both of those arrows miss. And we can all roll into initiative.
These guys better pray to whatever gods actually exist. They don't hurt my donkey.
I haven't heard that.
Well, I mean,
haven't heard that statement in a while.
No one better hurt my donkey.
Take his daughter, but don't touch his donkey.
So you see 3 forms come sliding down the hill. They look like large bipedal hyenas that are carrying a multitude of weapons, all of which are wearing patchwork leather armor and armor that seem like they've kind of found it in some sort of way. But these things come sliding down this hill to the side of you as 3 gnolls come jumping off at you all. They have different weapons. One of them has daggers, one has looks like 2 swords, and then one has a pretty large and pretty kind of gnarly looking axe. So it's gonna first swing down on you with its daggers, Cosmo. It's gonna try to stab you with these things. That's gonna be a 14 to hit. That's not gonna hit for the first attack. Dude, that is even worse. That's a 13. And I think that one's gonna do it. That's a 21 to hit.
I'll allow it.
7 damage as he is able to kind of slice you. You're able to block off 2 of those attacks, and then he's able to, as he kind of bites down at you with his mouth with one, you're able to kind of get your shield up and block that, but he's able to just kind of slice you across the ribs, just making kind of a superficial gash for 7 damage. Glenn, you are not in a good position. You have one of them that's coming. The one with the swords is actually going to try to grab. Is going to try to stab down on you, and he's going to get advantage because you are on the ground.
Rude.
Oof.
Super rude.
Yeah, it's a rude boy. Okay, so that's going to be a 24 to hit that one.
That's gonna hit.
And that's going to be 8 damage.
That hurts.
And then for his second, he's going to try to get you with his second attack. That's actually the same. It's going to be 24 damage, or 24, not 24 damage, 24 to hit. And that's going to be another 6 damage as he gets you with that second sword. But his third attack, his bite, misses you. He essentially comes down and just stabs you with these 2 swords straight into this net. And then the last one, the one with the axe, is actually going to go after our buddy Nybarg, and who also is going to have advantage on him. This is the first 2 attacks. It's the third attack. And he's going to bite down on Nybarg, his shoulder, for a healthy 7 damage, and is actually going to start dragging Nybarg away with his mouth, and is going to start pulling Nybarg towards the hill a little bit. And with that, Glenn, it's actually your turn. If you can make me a strength saving throw. try to break out of this net.
I'm an elf, bro. Built like a stick. Do I even have anything for strength? Nope. That's a 13.
That actually just does it. So you're able to kind of like, as this thing is stabbing down on you, you're able to kind of, using your feet in a, like kind of a deft way, you kind of unbind these kind of like weighted spheres that are on the bottom of this thing, and you're able to kind of like pull it off of you and get out from underneath it. And then if you use half your movement, you can stand up and you can have your full actions.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use half my movement to stand up, which cuts me down to 15, and then I'm gonna take my bonus action to disengage and take my other 15 to get to, I need to zoom in, squares. Yeah, so I'm gonna move 3 squares, 2, 2, 2. And then I'm gonna take a shot at the one attacking Cosmo.
Awesome.
With my bow, so I'm gonna draw my bow and take a quick ol' snipey snipe.
Yeah, this thing is just cackling with this kind of like, obviously
terrible.
like hyena-like laughter as it's just like attacking Cosmo.
That was awful, and I'm gonna miss with a 10. But I did want to,
yes.
I also forgot, and I should have reminded you before all this, but technically Poe has been flying around and keeping watch this whole time, but I'm not gonna retcon
Of course.
I'm not gonna retcon the drop-in surprise. But
I actually have a spot in initiative for him if you want me to pop him in. It'll be later on.
That's what I was gonna say. So technically he got a 19, but if you want to put him on the next round, that's fine. Let's say he was eating shit, decided to come back.
Eating shit? That's disgusting.
He's a bird.
I mean, he's a raven, but come on.
That's my turn.
Yeah, awesome. So Nybarg is he's gonna try to make his save to get out as he's being dragged away by the shoulder, not having a good time. He does not fucking make that save, and Nybarg is being still like dragged up this hill by this hyena with the axe. Red is gonna come stumbling out of the tent with pulling his pants up. No weapons. He just has like a shirt, like doesn't even have a shirt on, just pants, and it's just like, hey, me boy, who has a fucking weapon for me? Does anyone want to have a weapon handy or want to throw anything to Red? I'll give you a free action to do so.
I'll throw him a dagger.
Okay, I'm going to give him a dexterity saving throw to see if he catches it. 16, I'm going to say he catches it. He kind of like surprises himself and then grabs this dagger and goes, all right, let's fucking do this. And he just runs at this knoll and is just going to try to jump on the thing's back and start stabbing it in the back as it's dragging Nybarg away. Yeah, it's not a bad attack. So he does a 16 to hit, and he's gonna do a couple stabs, 2 stabs down with the dagger. Yeah, so that's gonna be 12 damage actually on this, as he's just holding onto the back of this like shitty leather armor that this hyena has, and actually holding onto the kind of the hair, the mane on this thing, and just stabbing this thing in the back as it's trying to drag Nybarg out. And that is going to bring us to Cosmo's turn. And Cosmo Rangrim. Cramgrim.
Rangrim, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll give Cosmo the initiative because he's actually engaged with something right now.
Oh, congrats.
Oh, it takes.
I was just thinking the same thing. I will never do another joke. Anyway.
Right, never. Well, he's going to see this guy bite down. He's like, well, I see. You just thought we was gonna be a nice tasty snack, didn't you? Not today, friend. And he's just gonna like swing back at him. That is I think a 19. Yes. A 19 to hit.
Absolutely. That's gonna do it.
And a 25. So we're gonna go with yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, so roll me damage.
Use this war pick. I mean, we have used it, but you know. So that's gonna be 16 damage.
Yeah, awesome. So you kind of like shield bash this thing back a little bit, and then just as it's kind of cackling, and that kind of quiets it for a second, and then you bring your war pick down. Do you fight generally with the pointy side or the hammer side?
Just kind of depends. Right now, I'm using the blunt.
Okay. So yeah, you bring this thing down on its shoulder pretty good, and its hide armor, you can tell, does not take much of that damage. So he takes all of that and is not having a very good day. It's not currently bloody, but it's that definitely hurt.
And then
so
go ahead.
Nope, go for it.
Let's say, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action on the gnoll that has Nybarg. He needs to make a wisdom saving.
Yes, I can certainly do that. That's gonna be a 15.
But all right, it beats.
That was a flat 15 too. There's no plus to that.
That's fine. I trust. Well, sorry, Nybarg. Tried to break you out of that one.
Still dragging him up the hill, but it seems like it's been slowed since Red is now on its back, not making it easy for him.
Right. So that would do it for me. On over to Raingrim.
Raingrim is going to hop off of the cart, kind of making his way to this knoll with the swords, kind of getting right up in his face. On his way hopping off the cart, he looks at Glenn back, on your feet, and then he casts that spell that I wanted to cast. Guiding Bolt, that's the one.
And he casts a spell, and that spell is just
Yeah,
cast everything like pert happily.
Yeah, so Guiding Bolt.
Awesome. Yeah.
So it's a spell attack. Ooh, that is a 24 to hit with that spell attack.
Just does it. Just so close.
And it is 4d6.
Holy shit, forgot about that spell. That's a sleeper spell.
It's a first level spell.
And it gives everyone advantage for the next attack, right?
Yep. Oh, it gives the next attack against him advantage because he's literally glowing from the radiant damage. And that is 12, 17, 20 damage with Guiding Bolt.
Which knoll?
The one that has Nybarg.
Oh, got it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, the one with the axe.
Yep, I jumped in front of the one with the sword and just shot that off to the...
Nice. Yeah, with that one is looking starting to look really rough. As you hit him with this thing, like the wounds that he had already been sustaining just seem to start bleeding a lot more than they were. And now like he's just dripping blood, and like the blood is kind of like coming out of his mouth even as he's like dragging Nybarg away, and you can't really tell like which is Gnoll blood, which is Orc blood. It's all kind of one little kind of slurry there, but it's he does not seem to be looking good. Yeah, and with that, is that the end of your turn?
That would be my turn, yep. Nothing with the bonus action.
Cosmo, a spear is going to come flying down at you from on top. That's actually going to be a pretty good attack. That's going to be a 19.
Nay.
A 19 is not going to hit. Oh, that's
Nope.
right. You have the new armor. Jesus.
Forgot that plate.
This thing would it looked like it was good, and it was coming straight down at you, and like as it hits you, the end of it just kind of breaks. Like it just like the end of it just, and you realize it's probably like a pretty weak iron or like stone spear, and like the end of it just kind of explodes as it hits you, and just like it essentially just get hit with a shovel handle or something.
Cosmo would just look down and just
handle.
Will like wipe it with his beard. But it's not. Who do that?
Rangrim, a crossbow bolt is coming flying down at you. That one's actually going to be a 18 to hit.
That would miss.
Okay, so same thing with you. These things are just kind of weak. Like the weapons themselves are weaker, and so like as it just kind of explodes as it hits your shield, and that is going to bring us to Poe's turn.
Where were these shots coming from?
I will now make them shown. They're technically still hidden from you because they're up on top of the ridge, but there are two long-range gnolls up there.
I wouldn't be able to see them from where I am, over by the cart?
You could see them. Anyone who's closer to the wall is probably not going to be able to see them.
Okay.
Rangrim would have been able to see them probably since he had a little bit farther, like a little bit distance, but at this point, like you would have to go up there to fight them. They're kind of shooting down at you from over this edge.
from Poe's advantage point from above, he kind of sees the two attacking. And he said one through a spear, one through let's go spear. Poe is going to hold his action and start to dive bomb the spear wielder.
Okay.
He's going to wait to attack when Glyn attacks. He's going to take the help action.
Awesome. So that's going to be the one that is marked as the longbow currently.
Okay.
So that's going to be that boy. But awesome. Yeah. So that's going to bring us to the last one in the initiative. You see this larger gnoll wearing like kind of patched together metal armor. It seems like it's kind of been very haphazardly kind of different colored armors and different kind of makes. Big spikes and coming off of one of his shoulders, and he has like a chain net that looks like it's thrown over one of his shoulders as well, making kind of like a makeshift cape, and has like manacles just hanging from his the side of his belt. And he is going to point down and use one of his special abilities, which is called Incite Rampage. And he's going to activate two of these and point down and just say, "Kill them." And two of these gnolls are going to make use their abilities to make attacks on Cosmo and on Ranger. Essentially using kind of a command action.
As my reaction, I'm going to impose disadvantage on the attack again.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you're enough within range where you throw your shield out to.
I'm man.
It's only going to be one attack with each, so I'm going to use their weapon attacks. But the first one's going to be a 20 on you, Cosmo, 16 plus 4.
That'll hit.
Okay. That's just going to be a healthy 10 damage from that one with one of his, as he gets one of his daggers in, as you kind of throw your shield to the side to impose disadvantage against the one that has swords so it doesn't hit Rangrim. It kind of leaves you open and he's able to get a dagger in there pretty deep. Rangrim, that's not going to do it. That's 2 10s. So I don't think that disadvantage is going to definitely stop him from getting you. So he swipes down with that sword, but it deflects right off your shield and doesn't cause you any problem. But yeah, that's going to bring us to the top of the round again, and the 3 gnolls are actually going to get their attacks again. So this is going to be a full round. Okay, so 2 of those, one of those is going to be a 22, and the other one is going to be an 18 on you, Cosmo.
1 hits and 1 does not.
Okay, that's going to be just 5 damage for that, as he tries to get you with he slicing you again with those daggers, gets you a little bit. Rangrim, this one with the swords is going to attack you. Fuck. Okay, it got a 22 and a natural 20 for 2 of the attacks.
Well, sir, they
so
both miss. Surprise.
So I'm gonna roll that nat 20 first. So that's gonna be.
Here, gentlemen.
Of course, I want you to know where you stand. That's gonna be a 20 damage for that attack. And then that's going to be a 9. That's 29 damage as this thing, like, it missed you with that one attack, and then kind of as you go to move around that, he takes you off guard and gets you with 2 swipes of the sword, and then just kind of like claws you in the side of the head, and just like leaves these kind of cut marks across your face. And I'm gonna give the one that's on that red is on his back. I'm gonna give him a chance to throw red off. Does not do it. And then he's going to start stabbing down on Nybarg and trying to weaken him up to carry him away. One of those attacks is going to hit, and Nybarg is going to take a healthy 7 damage. Nybarg is starting to look pretty rough. He doesn't have a lot of health to begin with, and one-on-one combat, close range is definitely not his forte. But that's going to bring us to Glenn's turn.
Okay, well, seeing all the shit hit the fan and communicating ever so slightly with Poe, Glenn's going to tuck behind this tent and take just gonna rotate, I guess, off to this side and take the attack action. He's gonna shoot the longbow Knoll with his bow right as Poe is swooping in on him.
Okay, give you advantage.
Yes, sir. One's a nat 1, the other one's an 11, which is better. So a 19.
That will do it.
That might not be correct. I might be lying to you. Who knows my whole stat block but me, right? Yeah, it's a 19 to hit.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely hits.
And that was gonna also give me sneak attack damage.
Nice.
So a d8 plus 5. It's been so long. I think I have 3d6 now for sneak attack. Sneak attack's 3d6, yeah. So d8 plus 5. It's going to be 11, 18, so 19 damage to that guy.
Yeah. Do you actually, do you have a secondary attack?
Nope, so my bonus action, I'm going to hide.
Okay, awesome. How does it die?
As Poe is like swooping in and just kind of like pulls one of the long tufts of hair off the back of its head and he kind of like looks up, it just right through the bottom, out through the eye, and he just drops.
Yeah, so it actually probably takes this Knoll leader by surprise. It's like this, like Knoll is like trying to take like aim with probably another spear or with a longbow, but and then all of a sudden it kind of like this bird kind of comes out of nowhere and just gets through the eye and it just falls back and slumps against this rock and is super duper dead. I'll leave them. How does mark them? That's a good call.
And then Poe would fly away.
Awesome. Caw-caw.
What's his flying sound?
Hey, fuck off, caw.
True.
Awesome. All right, so now there's a little tiny X on this guy. That means he's dead. Just
Wait, is
having
that an X on the Knoll leader?
No, it's not. It's,
That's fine.
On the longbow guy.
There we go. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so
Oh, and then my hide is not super high. It's a 16 for stealth.
it's a high hide. You go up high and you hide.
Just be tall and little, all at once. It's a 16.
Awesome. Yeah, that's plenty. You're kind of like, as much as you are like, you're kind of out of their view. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to give this over to Nybarg, who's going to try to make his save again, and absolutely does it this time. He seems like he's like, as he's taking more damage, he's like a little bit more of that, like the fact that he is a very big orc is kind of coming out, and he just like reaches up and just starts punching this Knoll in the face as he's like kind of in this net, and just like the Knoll lets go, and I'm actually going to give him a little bit of damage on this Knoll as well. Yeah, it takes a little bit of damage. And then this Knoll, like whose mouth is already pretty bloody, Red, who's still on his back, is going to take 2 attacks down on him with that dagger.
With advantage.
Both of which hit. And he just like, you see him stab down twice again on this thing, and then he just pulls the hyena's neck back with this with the hair and just rips this thing across its throat, and like he kind of is holding on and just rides it to the ground when he's like, and as it falls, and just like stands on it and it's just like, all right, which one's next? And I'm gonna give that over to Cosmo and Rangrim. Actually, one thing I'm gonna give Nybarg. As Nybarg gets up, I'm going to give him the taunt action, and he's going to look up at the Knoll leader and pull his loot off of his back, and just goes, "Why don't you eat my whole dick?" And that, and with that, the Knoll leader is going to have he has to make a charisma saving throw, which he fucking fails horribly. He gets a 2, and he has disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws until the beginning of Nybarg's next turn.
Oof.
So, Cosmo, Rangrim, what do you want to do?
Rangrim, you want to go first?
All right, I'll take the initiative on this one. So seeing Nybarg, they killed the axe guy, taunts the balls out of the leader by telling him to eat his dick. Just an absolute songbird of a generation. I'm going to just, I'm gonna cast Searing Smite on myself.
Oh, fuck.
So the next attack I make does fire damage. So I'm gonna hit Noli Boy with the Sword's right in front of me. Here's my
And
grill.
you have an advantage on this because he's still lit. No, this is not the lit up guy. It was the other one that was lit up. Gotcha.
It was actually the axe guy who just got.
He just got his axe kicked.
That would be a natural 20.
Woohoo!
Oh, stop it. Let's go.
Give a 20, take a 20.
So that is a D8 plus 3 double.
Smite. Fuck.
Yeah, how many? Yeah, I don't.
Hey,
So that's-
Dunktown, you have a new resident.
So it's 11 just from my regular attack, and another 10 fire damage. And Searing Smite actually specifically states he is now on fire until he is purposefully extinguished, like submerged in
Oh
water.
shit. Luckily, there's just a huge body of water just super close to you all. I don't think there's water anywhere, as far as I know.
It's crazy. Lake Loch Ness just appears.
Yeah. We summon it. He's a waterbender, actually.
But
So how much damage was that total?
Total damage, that was 11
21.
and then 10 fire, so 21, yes.
21 damage. This one is not taking damage yet, so it is super. It is not having a good day. It is, the hair on it is just like literally, it smells awful as all this like
Ugh.
hair just starts burning on this knoll, and like it's partially like nasty leather armor, and it's just rank smell fills this campsite as this thing erupts into flame. Do you know how much the flame does per turn? Is like D6 per turn or something?
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. So it's flame with white hot intensity. The attack does extra
double
damage.
something for
targeted
crit,
dice.
Tony says.
I did. I did double the dice when I rolled for the crit. Oh, I didn't double my damage dice from my actual weapon attack.
Okay.
That's another 5, so it'd be 26. That is
26
correct.
damage.
Yep, I only rolled my weapon attack once.
Awesome. And then for the fire damage, does it take it now or on its turn?
It's at the start of each of its turn until the spell ends. It must make a con save. On a failed save, it takes 1d6 fire damage.
Nope.
And then on a successful save, the spell ends. And it can end if it's put out.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, so if it can stop, drop, and roll, then it can put itself out.
And it has disadvantage.
Cosmo.
Right, well, perfect timing then. He's ready for the good show. And seeing these things like just start to kind of drop, Cosmo is going to Misty Step up behind the Knoll Leader.
Love it.
Over here. And just go.
Oh, Heather.
Do that.
And he's just gonna like smash down on
Smash.
Smash.
Awesome. Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna smash him off the cliff. It's coming.
Dope.
No, okay. So I rolled a 23 and a 21 to hit.
Yeah, no, they're really close, but no, I'm kidding. Yeah, they definitely both hit.
And so
Certainly.
and then I am also going to use one of my smites as well on this bad boy. So let's see. Oh, sorry.
Knowles be getting smoked.
Oh no,
Oh, yeah.
coming.
Oh, that's the meat.
Smelled familiar. So let's see.
It's gonna be charred hyena tonight.
So it's 9 damage, and then it is, and then it was 6 plus 9, so 15. So 24 damage total.
24 damage. Ouch. Yeah. So you show up behind this guy, and you still using the blunt end of your pickaxe? Okay. So your war pick. So you show up behind this guy, and he's not wearing a helmet. And I'll say that you just nail this. You beam this dude in the back of the head, and he definitely he doesn't fall off the cliff, but he definitely stumbles forward a bit. And you certainly have its attention now. And it is like just on the cusp of blades.
Well, hello there, friend. Nice to meet you. Nice of you to meet me, Hammer, too.
And so that is going to bring us to the last remaining archer's turn, who is going to turn around and shoot a crossbow bolt. Actually, he can't. He doesn't see Cosmo. Cosmo's behind the rock.
That movement height paid off, baby.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to shoot down at Rangrim with that crossbow.
Oh, no.
Ooh, nat 1. The crossbow, he goes to shoot it, and it blows up in his hands. And it's going to do 3 damage to him as it just kind of explodes. It's just like this shitty old crossbow that this thing probably picked up off a body like a while back, and it just gave out on it. So he will not be able to use the crossbow anymore. But that's going to actually do it for their turn, so it's actually Poe.
Oh boy. Poe is going to hold and take the help action for when he sees Cosmo trying to swing on the Knoll leader. So Cosmo will have an advantage on that attack. Then Glenn's going to... Can I get there? Seen Rangrim take a few hits. Yeah, let's party. Glenn's going to come out of hiding and with... I think he's got to take a bonus action to get there. Oh no, that guy's dead. Yeah, I'm going to just run right over that guy's dead body. And as I'm taking the steps, I'm pulling the double-bladed scimitar, and instead of the green flame lighting it, you're starting to see this crackling energy, and I just take a swipe on Mr. Knoll Swords, which he's engaged with Rangrim, right? They were just fighting?
Yes.
Right. Nat 20.
Fuck.
That's neat.
Dude, it's a good day for 20s. That's 3.
This one guy just got double critted.
22 damage to that guy.
I know.
22 damage? How does it die?
22. So yeah, that's just like a sparkling, crackling energy as it runs just between Nybarg and Vagnon. I always forget his name, sorry, but I just impale and like just sparks come through the double-bladed scimitar out his chest and just like crackling gore just directly into Rangrim's face. So just his chest explodes into Rangrim's face. And then I pull it out, and then for good measure, I take my bonus action and just cut his head off. And then I'm standing there.
Yeah. That's quite a spectacle, and yeah, Rangrim is probably splattered with at least a little bit of gore. I don't know if it bothers you at all, Rangrim.
Anyone else smell Das Dogs? I feel like there's like a chunk of burning Knoll like on my shoulder.
It's like, hey, you told me to get to my feet. I figured you were hungry.
You guys finally found out the secret. It's 100% Knoll, and nobody's any the wiser. The Knoll leader, who now is very aware of Cosmo's presence, is going to turn around and is going to try to swipe down on you with its pretty large sword that it has. Actually, you know what? It has a glaive.
Does he have a disadvantage on whatever? What were his disadvantages again?
So Poe is going to impose advantage.
No, it was the Nybarg's dick thing.
Nybarg's
yes, he has disadvantage on his attacks.
Okay. I was just asking.
No, it's totally cool. So I'm gonna give him a disadvantage. That's definitely not gonna hit. Neither of those are gonna hit. So those are both, I think, the highest he just rolled with his 2 attacks. So he turns around and he's still like very clearly kind of like dazed from nailing him in the back of the head. And he has his glaive and he kind of slices it down on you twice and just like fucking whiffs it like way high and way to the side. And it kind of digs down into the dirt and you can tell that he's definitely out of it.
Whiffer!
And with that, we're going to bring it to the top of the round. This Knoll is dead as fuck. So let's put a little X on.
Def. You def.
Most def.
Use a def. No.
Dagger Knoll, our good friend Dagger Knoll, is going to run over here and try to put a little bit of the stab on Rangrim.
Rude.
Ooh. Nat 1 for the first roll. Going to be not a good roll for him. That's a 18. Ooh, that one's going to do it, though. The last one, which is actually going to be a bite, Rangrim, that's going to be a 25 to hit. Luckily, he only rolled a 1 for damage. So it's just gonna be 5 damage as it kind of like you're able to block the 2 daggers, but he kind of grabs onto your arm with a couple of its fangs. And yeah, that's actually going to bring us to Red and Nybarg, who Red is going to scramble up the hill and just try to cut this. He can't get all the way up the hill because it's like difficult terrain, so he's kind of like crawling on all fours with his dagger, and he's just gonna try to stab him and like completely like Kill Bill this guy's the back of this guy's leg.
Oh my gosh.
R.I.P. Ned Stark.
Oof. Both of the attacks are gonna miss, unfortunately.
What? He's got even with advantage?
He's got little
arms.
arms.
He actually has advantage because he's behind him. That's actually a great point.
I just need his dagger to be on point.
Okay, once. So he gets one attack in there. Unfortunately, he doesn't. What sucks is he's supposed to have a much bigger weapon, but he doesn't have it with him anymore. And that's going to be a 5 damage as he gets up the hill. He scrambles up. He's like, and sticks this fucking dagger right in the back of the thing's calf as this thing cries out in pain. And that is going to bring us. Actually, Nybarg is going to go. Okay, Rangrim, you get you get 6 hit points back. You feel a little bit better. Your scraped knee heals over as Nybarg strums his lute again and goes, "Let's fuck these guys up." And that's what you get as we go to Rangrim Cosmo's turn.
Rangrim, you're up.
Has the Knoll with the daggers, has he taken any damage?
Yeah.
Yes, certainly.
I pooped
about
on him.
16 points of damage.
About.
Rangrim's just going to grab him by the shoulders and yell in his face, "Stay away from my donkey!" And I'm going to cast Word of Radiance.
The hell is that?
It's a cantrip, and he has to succeed on a con save or he takes 2d6 radiant damage.
Of yelling damage?
Yeah, it's verbal. I utter a divine word, so in this instance, get away from my donkey.
Actually,
that's a one.
Nat 1.
Yes.
Nat 1.
What a kill.
I'm going to give you an extra d6 because of that Nat 1.
Lovely.
Radiant verbal
Beautiful.
damage. Just like right in his face.
Damage right in his face.
Yeah, this thing, you just see like its eyes go completely wide, like a freaking cartoonish pop out of its head as you scream this, and like just speckle of like blood and spit just kind of cover this thing's face, and like it turns pale as you scream into its face, and that's actually a good amount of damage. Yeah, that is so. Cosmo, I believe it is your move.
Okay.
That's my new favorite spell.
So
I just know that one day you're gonna meet your god and you're gonna thank him for protecting your donkey.
right. Oh god.
That's great. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm in the same boat. Right. So I'm dunking on this leader guy here.
Take him to the bad version of Pound Town.
Right. Well, we'll just turn the hammer over then.
That's true.
We'll just flip it around and give him the pointy end. Okay. So I guess we'll go ahead and attack this guy. I'm gonna use my bonus action for Hunter's Mark. Try and put the last little bit on this guy here.
Last little bit of pain.
Just a little bit more pointed. Okay. Here we go.
You ain't going nowhere.
You're going nowhere. That is a 18 plus 6 to hit.
Does hit.
And a 11 plus 60.
Also hits.
Terrific.
You guys got shitty armor.
Apparently.
That's what it says on the sheet too. It says just shitty armor.
Straight shit.
Made of garbage.
21 points of damage.
Damn.
How does this Knoll die?
So I kind of envision like just like one big smash to his rib cage, and then he just like drops down to his knees, and he Cosmo just like sticks his like war pick down in this guy's shoulder, and he's just, "You picked the wrong group to mess with," and he just like kicks him off.
Yeah, so you stick this thing down and it sticks through the guy's shoulder, and it just like it literally goes through his the like shitty pieced together plate mail, and just like finds a middle point and just goes in, and just like you see it just hit the dude's heart, and like its eyes just kind of like it looks surprised for a second, and then it just kind of starts falling back, and you just kick it off this edge, and it just kind of impotently like slides down on its back slowly down the hill.
Look out,
just
Red.
right next to Bognon.
Red, look out! It's coming your way.
It kicks him right over Red, and then just kind of lands and falls. But yeah, this thing is down here and is. I think that the term is dead as fuck. I think that's
he is
a clinical term.
This Knoll with the crossbow is going to start fucking booking it, and it is now Poe's turn.
Poe is going to start swooping down on the guy that's running away.
Okay, cool. That is actually going to Dagger Knoll is going to get one more attack on Rangrim. I'm going to give him disadvantage because he's fucking terrified, which is great because he just rolled 2 natural 20s.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Literally just rolled 2 natural 20s.
Yikes.
Luckily he's only using daggers. So it's a 1 doubled. So that's only going to be 7 damage, Rangrim. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing on about a scale of 158 to 27.
Okay.
You're fine.
Not bad at all. You're doing fine.
58?
You could take so many more stabs.
You have more
You're
than
screaming for God. You're fine.
I have a 20 con.
You're Atreyu.
So it got you at that one. I'll just say it's out of fear. This thing is like absolutely terrified, and it's just like now at this point just like stabbing you, and like with as much distance as it possibly can, and just wildly, and kind of you're not able to detect its movements as much, and it's kind of wildly swinging these things around, and it catches you with one of them, but the others miss. And that's going to bring us to Glenn.
I'm going to track up the hill as far as I can get.
Okay.
And I'm going to run about. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a shot at the guy who's running away just as Poe swoops in on his head.
Awesome. Give you an advantage. Go for it.
Oh, wow. So 7 off the D8. Ooh, and then 14 off the sneak damage, so 21 damage.
How does it die?
As he starts to run away, and I like kind of catch him out of the corner of my eye, and I know Rangrim's okay, because just yell attack something, and that's somehow working. Glenn starts tracking up the hill, kind of like a little casually, like, come here boy. And she goes, it's just back of the head, just right through the back of the dome.
Yeah, so this thing's like kind of yipping as it's running away, just like yeah, like it's running and terrified, and it's just running as fast as it can, and you just fucking just like, and just gets him right through the back of the head, and it just drops and slides kind of across the ground, and with its like legs up, and then just kind of stops and doesn't move. That is gonna leave just Dagger Knoll left, Knoll of Daggers, which is its legal name. But that's going to bring us to
They have surnames.
Red's turn, who is just going to like get up and look around and see the one Dagger Knoll left, and look down at his dagger in his hand, and he's just going to try to huck it at the Knoll that's left, past Rangrim there. And it's a fucking natural 20 for Red.
Wow.
As he whips this fucking dagger. Holy shit, dude. The amount of natural 20s in this battle have been insane. So that's gonna be a 3, 6 plus. Yeah, that's gonna do it. This Knoll, like Rangrim, you're like you screamed at its face and it's stabbing you out of fear, and then you just see this dagger just whip over your shoulder and just embed itself to the hilt in this thing's face. And then with that, it gives up the ghost, drops its daggers, and just falls backwards, probably embedding a decent amount of blood into Cosmo's bedroll and pillow. But aside from that, you all have successfully defeated all of these Knolls. We are officially out of combat.
So I would have, after killing that first one, Glenn would have kind of told Poe, like, start scouting the direction that it was running. And I go grab the crossbow Knoll and kind of look over to Cosmo. I'm dragging the crossbow knoll back, and I'm looking over to Cosmo like, hey, you mind bringing this one down? I don't think we need to leave any bodies behind in case they got friends. And I just start dragging the body back towards down the cliff.
Yeah, roll me a perception with Poe, which I guess would be your perception. Just roll your perception.
Right. There is no longer a problem.
18. Yeah, it's his perception, right? I don't.
Yeah.
It's not mine. Yeah. So it's. You said it was +3.
Mm-hmm.
So 21.
Yeah. Just over one of the hills, kind of up there to the north, you find a cart that has a huge cage on the back of it, and it has two pretty rough-looking mules. Like, well, actually, one's a mule and one's a horse, and they look extremely malnourished, not in a good way. But this cart just has a big cage on the back of it, and you can see some like shackles and manacles and stuff hanging from this like rusted cage cart.
But does the cage look empty?
The cage is empty currently. Okay. It might not have been if they had been a little bit sneakier.
Yeah. Okay.
Or better at fighting.
Or yeah.
So, yeah, just look over to Glenn, like, or not Glenn. Wow. I look over to Cosmo. I'm like, hey, you mind helping us bring these bad boys down? Say they got any friends? I just kind of like throw the crossbow knoll down the hill so it like lands on the knoll, the sword knoll.
You're trying to put them in a knoll pile?
Basically.
They're not going to be able to tell us if they got friends or not. But, right, then I guess. And, oh my god, who let the guy dirty me bed? There's just blood everywhere.
So just cross bedroll off of your
Yeah,
your inventory.
You've lost the most mundane equipment.
No, it's still on my list. It's just a little, dirty.
Next, you're going to lose your
laundromat.
pipes.
Right, we'll find a laundromat. I know what it is.
Pitons.
Everyone's got 25 pitons for no reason. And as Glenn kind of like starts to skid a little bit down the hill, he goes, I'll swear, man, I feel like a lot of things been getting the drop on me lately. I need to do a little bit better paying attention. I'm pretty sure Poe was like chirping in my ear, like alert, alert, but that food was just so good, Nybark. I just couldn't pay attention. That's on me.
Nybark seems to be kind of like he's singing his own, like he's actually singing a song. He starts strumming the lute, and you all start feeling like a little bit of healing energy flow through you as a song of rest starts being played. Yeah, so if you all want to take a short rest, but you get an extra, like you just get a d6 of health, which you get 4 health as he's kind of like strumming this song. He goes, this is not generally how I would have liked to spend my night, but seems like I'm happy that it wasn't just me and Red.
I told you, we don't always do the right thing, but eventually we do the right thing. It takes a couple tries.
Don't you get spell slots on a short rest?
Don't think so.
No.
Warlocks do.
Well, only warlocks do.
Rip.
These fucking guys, let's see if they got anything good on them. And Red starts rifling through the pile of dead gnolls, and is kind of just like pulling like weapons out, and he grabs the glaive from the leader, and is like, too big, and throws it off to the side, and then grabs the axe from the gnoll that had the axe, and he's like, just the right size. And he's just kind of feeling it out right now, kind of hefting it and feeling its weight as Nybark is playing this song of healing. What are all the rest of you doing?
So Glenn grabs the dagger back out of the face and that he chucked. He's like, so you just gonna leave this behind? I give you something? You're just not gonna take it with you? This is a gift, man.
He's like not paying attention. He's like, hut, this thing's a piece of shit. it's all bent and kind of like notched. He's like, sorry about that.
And I toss it to him again, but a little more aggressively this time. I looked at Rangram like, Rangram, we might be able to do something with all this
that was
gear.
So close. That was so close to being a nat 1, but it was a 19. It was just on the edge of being a 1. He catches it. But anyway, keep going.
Rangram, we might be able to do something with all this gear, yeah? I've seen you turn, rusted pieces of bolts into, or I think it was a doorknob into some beautifully crafted lockpicks.
Rangram is already just like taking like stuff off the knolls. He like turns and looks at Clinton way ahead of you, and he's like holding like 3 belts.
It's like, no, there's more metal in the so okay, all right. And I just start like picking things up and moving them to the cart for him. I start helping him.
Yeah, there's I believe there's 2 swords, 2 daggers, the shitty plate mail like pieced together plate mail armor, which is all metal, that glaive, which is it's probably the best condition of all the weapons, and then there's obviously like small trinkets and whatnot, but that's generally what you find.
How many pounds of trinkets and whatnot? You know what? Just for sake, because we'll just keep it in canon. I'm gonna say they're all belt buckles. How many pounds of belt buckles did I get?
Only belt buckles.
So many belts.
2 pounds of belt buckles.
Sick.
Right.
They're big. They're big belt buckles. They went to a lot of rodeos.
Nice.
Right. Well, Cosmo would want to specifically kind of investigate the leader for any kind of like parchment, or maybe even looking to see if there was a reason why they were out for us, or who these guys are, or whatever.
Yeah. Roll me an investigation.
So it's a 17.
What are you looking for, Cosmo? And I give him guidance.
Well, I just want to see if these guys really just wanted us, or we were just unlucky, really. And
I think they're unlucky.
It's a 20. Not a net.
Yeah.
It's a dirty 20. It's a little dirty. It's.
So aside from so in one of the pockets, you pull out. Actually, they were attached to the belt, so they probably fell off when Rangram pulled the belt off this guy. But you have 2 pairs of manacles that were hanging off of this belt. But also, you find a folded up map, and when you pull it out and you look at it, it is a map of the general area, not all of Sakul, just like of your region, of kind of the Quiet Lands, and it's been like pretty well drawn actually. It's doesn't seem like it was done like really poorly, but then it has like scribbled over it that looks like it was added. So essentially what you're seeing here is it includes the Ebon Ridge, a little bit of Von Hertz Lock, and then the Quiet Lands is what this thing has. Everything else is just it's just very zoomed in on that region. Over by the Ebon Ridge, you can see that it is actually circled, and it says inside the circle what was printed on the map underneath that scrawled circle. It says Ebon Depths, and then in the Quiet Lands and around, you see all these other X's that have been marked off as if so there's the circle around the 30, like the location, the Ebon Depths, over by the Ebon Ridge, which is the volcanic mountain range to the east. And then in the Quiet Lands, it looks like there are a bunch of X's that have been scrawled around as if just different locations. And that's kind of what you're looking at.
Quick math, Dan, you have 11 pounds of material from the weapons.
Lovely.
Little quick punch in. Well, guys, I just think we was a little unlucky this time. Like most times when we travel from Whitport to Tin Town and vice versa, whatever. Just always get random shit try and kill us.
I was gonna say, I know you guys are connected to some kind of god, but can you talk to him about this? Because it seems a little ridiculous. Like,
Well,
we are just on our way to a city, and we're just getting attacked. Like, I feel like your higher power should be able to do something about this.
Well, you see, I'm not quite ready for that yet. Still need a little bit more time. Usually if they commune with me, that's one thing. But communing with them is like yelling at whatever you always are yelling. Right and early.
Cosmo, are you shy?
Hi. Sorry for what?
Are you nervous to talk to your god? Is she pretty?
Well, I don't even know who it is. At this point, I thought it was Morden. Now I don't think it is. Now I'm not sure. But for whatever reason, shit works.
Well, we know it's not Sigurd, right? And I just like bump Rangram in the shoulder.
Right, it's
definitely not Sigrid.
Chris, yes, Glenn, it is not Sigrid.
Nybarg, you want to write a song? We have a tale to tell you.
Epic tale.
I always am happy to hear tales. Though I do feel like I need to apologize. I feel like maybe this wasn't the safest camp to set up shop in tonight. I like to be comfortable, and unfortunately, this is kind of a well-known space for travelers to stay in, so makes us easy picking. Unfortunately, generally, I probably wouldn't have stayed here if we'd had a smaller group, but looks like, and he's kind of kicking over one of these things and goes, I have a feeling that these are some sort of slaving group or some sort of trying to capture and take us into some sort of forced labor situation.
I think I'd have to agree with you, Narbog. Just due north, my little my little feathered friend found a big old cart full of chains and looked like some kind of hellish cage. Might be able to go collect that real quick if you guys are inclined, but that kind of evil, I think, just needs to be destroyed.
Red's like, a cart, huh? And he just goes scrambling up the hill and is like kind of walking around out in the dark looking for this cart. And Nyberg just kind of like sighs and is looking down and goes, yes, I absolutely agree, but this is I do apologize. This is not the kind of wake up call that I was hoping to give you all. Look, they've even spilt dinner, but I don't know. Anyway, I know that this is abrupt, but have you all thought of my offer to come north with us?
Well, I think Vagnon's already on his way north. You might want to go catch him. He might just leave you behind.
Not you see you start hear like you can hear like chains rustling and like you hear what sounds like Vagnon like trying to like pull a horse or like undo a horse and like moving things around. You hear like neighing, and then you hear the sounds of what sounds like a dwarf getting kicked pretty hard and like the wind getting knocked out of him, and just you hear Red like "Oi!" from like a distance away in the darkness.
Never mind. It sounds like you got plenty of time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say that if we are going to be traveling north alone, it will be useful to have a couple steeds. So maybe I will go see if there's anything we can salvage for ourselves, since it doesn't seem like our new sleepy friends are going to be using these.
But well, you know, as much as I am inclined to travel with you north, I'm very intrigued and greatly curious about the Revivifist. I for one must make one quick stop before traveling anywhere. I must return home before moving on.
I completely understand.
We owe it to, well, I'm not going to speak for Rangrim here, but Cosmo's mother was a wonderful host, and I at least do a check-in, and maybe if you had the recipe for this meat that you were able to build or able to cook for us, is that something that might be able to share with her? She made this squirrel lizard dwarven stew that quite literally almost killed me. It was delicious. It was delicious. I loved it.
But Flynn, you're just so conflicted how you feel about your food. Ghost dogs, you love them. Me mommy's home cooked food, you can't even stand it.
I have never had to make a constitution check against a DOS dog.
Right. So, you know, and you know how weird that stuff.
That's true. I probably need to see a doctor.
Right.
Nybarg walks over and he kind of like puts his finger up and starts digging around in his pack, and he pulls out a sausage that's still wrapped. It's still like in it's kind of like has like twine on the ends of it and some sort of like casing. He goes, well, if you ever find yourself north, this is a little bit more common, but it's actually mammoth. So, and he kind of hands it over to you.
There's mammoths in this world? I said out of character. That's tight. Sorry.
What? A mammoth. That sounds big. I don't know if I've seen one of those here in Socorro.
You probably well, you did say you haven't been farther than Tin Town very much. I challenge all of you to try to branch out a little bit and maybe see a little bit more. You are, as far as I'm concerned, always welcome to make your way up to Ghost Shear, and I'll make sure that we're probably going to head that way and see if we can bring anyone else with us, but we're going to make a trip up there, so we'll let them know. I'll see if I can write a little song about this this little adventure and herald your coming. Hopefully we can be reunited and see you all soon.
I suspect you will, Nabog. Red, wherever you are, Red, you all right?
Aye. And you hear like you see him kind of like come over the edge as he's pulling these this like shitty mule and shitty pony kind of over and it's just kind of like on the edge of the hill at this point. And Nybark starts packing up his tent and starts breaking down the their like ridiculous car camping setup that they have for camping with.
Rangrim goes up the hill and just starts unlashing the other mule from their cart and leading it down the hill and lashing it to our cart.
So there's only two of them. There was the two. So you're gonna take
I'm gonna take in the other donkey. You
guys have two donkeys.
You have the horse, and its name is Pagan.
Okay, well, fair is fair, I guess. Go. You know what? I know you pray to some fucking some god that maybe I don't agree with, but I appreciate all your help, and I hope to see you again, my friend. He gives you a nice hearty pat on the back as you lead the mule down the hill.
Before you guys head out, that's a lot of cage you guys got there, and you might get some unwanted attention. Do you want us to take that off your hands? We could. Rangrim here is actually a constable of the country, and turning in any slaving material might help us up his status within the organization.
Well, if you want to trade carts, I think that'd be completely fine. To be honest, I don't think Nybarg feels like Nybarg would be the one riding on the this shitty horse here, and I would be sitting in a cage. So if you want to trade, we can I'll take your plain cart and you can take this caged one.
Rangrim, thoughts?
Rangrim's leading the donkeys to the other cart already.
What was the other donkey's name?
Cologne, and the new donkey's name is Champagan.
Champagan.
So after a little bit of swapping gear back and forth and packing up of materials, you are like at the point where they have set up this shitty horse back now on your cart and have kind of packed everything up, and they're about to head out, and just goes, I again appreciate everything, and if there's ever anything we can do for you, hopefully we see you again and we can get up to some more shenanigans. It's been fun.
Safe travels. We'll see you in the north. Go shear. Count on it.
And they kind of continue down the path that heads north and they kind of disappear into the darkness.
This cart smells awful.
It probably does. So this cart, it's all rusted metal. The wood itself is like probably darker than it should be because of like bodily fluids and stains that are into the back of this thing, and there's just like manacles and chains that are hanging from the ceiling. Also, you probably collected about 5 manacles, so that's also more weight. But they also are items that we can look up at a later time. But so you have this cart, but it does not smell good, and it's also not like the highest quality. It's definitely seen some better days, but it'll hold you for now, as you have both these donkeys hooked up to a mule and a donkey.
I think we got the short end of this stick there, fellas.
I don't know.
Right. Two of these. We got this cage now.
Right.
Look at this thing. He's just shaking it, like rattling it.
Super loud.
Well,
it's actually pretty sturdy. Like it's rusty and shitty, but it's a fucking thick cage.
Right. Well, you can ride in it then. I suggest, Rangrim.
I'm steering the cart. The donkeys like me better.
Wow.
They do. They actually bit me this morning. It was awkward. I just climb up on top of the cage and lay it down on my back and just like, all right, boys, let's move. And I pull out a magic cigarette that I stole from Rangrim earlier. And I just light it, and I'm just like, legs crossed, just kind of kicking one leg, bouncing with the road as we start moving.
Awesome. So you're heading straight back to Tin Town?
I think so.
Okay.
We're doing it.
Here we go. Back to Tin Town. No, totally fine. Roll me. So we're gonna do. I don't. There's not like a night. Like you don't have to do anything. Like by the time that you're getting there, just roll me a perception check each. As you're kind of riding through the night here, and you're gonna be arriving at Tin Town, probably like as the sun's coming up.
I would activate my earwig for an audio perception because I'm literally looking up at the stars.
True. And
So
Rangrim has his smell
advantage?
perception. Yes, advantage on.
Yeah, we
I'm not directly smelling anything because the cart
True, it
doesn't
reeks.
smell that
yeah.
great, so I'm not really like taking it all in. But my regular perception was a 24.
Awesome.
you just breathe in and go blind.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're getting like a smell of like kind of like a heavy like iron smell off this cart, which is probably blood, a
Ugh.
nice ammonia smell, which is just some sort of like old urine, and just like a smears of like this brown and other kinds of like material. You don't know whether it's rotten old food or the worse than that on this cart. You can definitely tell that there were people or beings in this cart for an extended period of time and not kept in the best conditions.
That's sad. I got 22.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll say that you do hear things kind of come through. Do you plan on stopping at all at the grove, which is, or the Lost Leaf, or are you just going right by?
I figured Glenn thinks that they do not want to see anybody anytime soon.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of truck right by it. As you're going by, you just like you don't see any lights, you don't see anything like that. You don't like, but you can kind of hear hear a little bit of movement, and they're not super far off the path. And with your kind of like more adept hearing, you can hear the sounds of like what sounds just like normal moving around and bustling of people. Like
Do they sound happy? Do I hear like the occasional chuckle?
Yeah,
Or is it
you
just,
hear that like
sad?
you hear that like noise as people smile.
Yeah,
that kind
perfect. Yeah. I hear the moisture leave their teeth.
Yeah, exactly. As all these people are having just the greatest time in their cool Ewok tree village fort.
As I exhale, my boys, they're smiling wide tonight. And I just take another puff.
You can just hear the sound of them smizing. Yeah, so as the sun is starting to kind of come up over the trees, you see the town, the familiar town of Tin Town, kind of in the distance, and you see that the path starts leading down into the bowl of the town.
Well, boys, we don't have to. I hope we don't have to stay here long, but I reckon. Well, I wonder if we'll see Luther for one. But as long as I know that Tin Town will continue to be a safe place, or at least is on a way of headed that way, we might be able to explore some more parts of Sakor, and maybe even visit Narbog and Red in Goshir, or whatever sort of other shenanigans we may find.
Hey, I think you need to take care of your business. I left Luthor a nice little note, so he's going to reach out when he needs to get a hold of us. I hope. That or he's going to find out I stole something from him, get really, really mad, and try to come kill me. I'm going to go with the first one and just assume that everything we did for this town, oh no, we killed its economy. All right, so Luthor might be pretty upset with us. We might want to figure out if he's friend or foe before the next time we see him, but for the time being, you take care of what you need to, and I'm going to help Kalogny and Champagna. Try not to hate me so much.
Well, offer him a carrot or something.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you did kind of collected over the course of all the knolls. You found 160 gold pieces total worth of silver and copper and gold and whatnot. But yeah, so are you heading to the Legends Guild first then?
I have something. I have no idea. Where's your friend there, Glenn? The weird little, the speedy guy.
I don't actually know if he's that fast, but I think he's the giant building that was just over there. Is he still there?
Yes.
I told him to get the hell out of town.
He is still there. You've only been gone for a couple days, but the building is still there. It does still seem to be like very active, a lot more than normal. And so like something seems like it's still like there's something being made or worked on in there.
So I point to it like just right over there. Why don't you go give him a visit? Let him know Glenn sent you. You can throw it on my tab. He owes me a few dozen. I'll board up Cologne and Champagne, get them all cleaned up, see if they won't bite me this time. See if we can't maybe find out what to do with all this manacles and chains and all that awfulness.
I got ideas for that. I'm gonna go see the guy. Peeps?
Close enough. Just try it. Hit the door really, really hard, and just try to sound like me, and you'll be fine.
Oh God, I'm so
all
excited.
All right. And he goes right to Pops.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Hello.
It's me, the elf. No, it's Glenn. All right.
Oh, Glenn. Yeah, no, it definitely sounds exactly like you. Come on in.
It's not Glenn.
Oh my God. Oh, hey, what's going on, Rangram? It's I guess a funny joke. What's going on?
Glenn said you could help me with a thing. Those bellows that you made them, what went on their own and stuff. Yeah. Could you make me like a set or two of them?
Yeah. I have a couple of the prototypes I was working on. I have two that they don't work as efficiently, but they you could just have them. I'll give you at least one of them. I'll probably keep one to if I need to make more in the future. But do you want? You can just have it. He goes over in the corner and pulls one out. And it's made of a little bit more like rougher material. Like you can see, it's kind of like been. It's not like the fine-tuned brass that like most of his finished products are, but it's like more iron, rougher materials. But you just put the fuel in the bottom and light it, and it'll run for 24 hours.
Awesome. What is fuel?
Coal, some sort of incendiary, anything. If you have magic, you can also do it that way. It just runs off heat. So this one's not probably going to run. It'll probably run for 22 and a half hours. I was able to fine tune it to 24 hours after that, but it should work. And he's moving and like it has those like after images, like as he's getting like more excited, the after images are kind of like it's getting kind of very hypnotic and almost seasick wise. Like the way his movements work, it gets kind of dizzying.
Well, thanks. Rangram's like noticeably like confused, like trying to follow him.
He's just like he can't. He's like holding up this thing. He's like, "Do you want it?"
Yep. Oh, yep. He just takes it and says, "Hey, thanks, peeps," and he just mosey's on out. And Rangram goes back to. I'm assuming that he would have known that Glenn would have gone to the
livery.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. To board and Rangram's going down there to put the bellows with the cart.
While he was doing that, Glenn unhooked our new donkey and mule friends and bought whatever the spa experience is for a livery. Like it's just a donkey and a mule, but they're pampered way more than like the Clydesdales and the nicest perks.
They put them
whatever that costs.
The deluxe horse wash, and they get the tricolor foam and the wax and the undercarriage wash.
They got a hard clay. Yeah, they got like 2 undercarriage washes, if you know what I mean.
It's like a mani-pedi.
Exactly. Rangram, you come up and they're
they got new shoes. They're good to go.
They have clay masks on and fantasy cucumbers on their eyes as you as you come up, and they're sitting on their backs with their hooves in bowls of water.
Love it. This is amazing. And I'm gonna spend some time just making general repairs to the now like metal cage cart, as well as like using mending sparingly to fix things that I couldn't just fix with the tools on my person.
And seeing that he bought the bellows, we don't need RP yet, but I will attempt to improve it to make it last longer or burn hotter.
Roll me a. I guess we can do sleight of intelligence. Let's just do an intelligence. So yeah, sleight of hand's fine. I guess that's dexterity.
Nice.
No, let's do an whatever intelligence you would have a bonus.
Okay.
That'd be tinkering.
An intelligence bonus. Okay, 11 plus 3, so a 14.
Okay, I'll say that you're able to get it up to being at the quality of the other one. It's still like it. You just like you adjust a couple things and get it to burn. It was burning too hot, and that's why it was burning the fuel a little bit too much. And so you're able to tinker with that and mess around with it, and you're able to get it to be as like a little bit more efficient than it was before. So it burns just a little bit more in 24 hours. Not a super big improvement, but you can always mess around with it later.
Perfect. Thank you.
What you doing, Cosmo?
Cosmo would head over to check in with Chesk.
Okay. Yeah, I know that we're running kind of short on time here, but let's if we're okay, we'll probably go to like a little bit longer, and so we can wrap everything up here if that's cool. So yeah, so just in for brevity's sake, you make it over to Chesk's office, and you are you go right in. He's just kind of sitting there behind the desk. Seems like he's just going through a bunch of paperwork and looking at like he has a big map out on his desk, and he's kind of like has circled a couple regions and is just kind of like looking over this paperwork and looking back and referencing the map. And he notices you come in and goes, "Oh man, you back already, huh? I thought you were gonna be gone a little bit longer."
Well, it was a bit of a quick trip. The refugees are taken care of, and
I barely sobered up by the time you got back.
Well, I'm glad you got yourself a good day off. I didn't want to be gone too long. Just wanted to be a there and back kind of trip, and get Tin Town on its way to remaining a place that people can live.
Yeah, no, it's kind of what I've been trying to focus on. I know that we left it with trying to find some other, potentially other mines. The problem is we've been sending them out to kind of go check a little bit closer over to the Ebon Ridge, which is obviously, that's probably our best bet. It's pretty close. We've been missing a couple of our scouts that have been going over that way, but we haven't found anything yet. A couple maybe promising spots that could have something a little bit closer, but it seems like when they get a little bit closer to that ridge, we've had 2 people go missing, and I don't want to send anyone else over that way.
But well, I don't reckon you should. Believe it or not, on our way back, we encountered a small group of Knoll people that looked like they were attempting to enslave us, and their pocketbook inclined me to think that they were likely taking them back to Ebon Ridge. So might want to steer clear of that, or maybe set them out in larger groups if you can.
That's pretty troubling. It kind of confirms some rumors that have been going around. There's been rumors that there's kind of a mine that's operating over there for a while with 3 brothers in charge of it that goes by the name of the Ebon Depths, and they've been a little bit secretive about their methods and where they're getting their labor from, and we don't know exactly where it's at, but the rumors coming out of there is it's nasty. Slave labor and just nastier things than that.
But yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all, especially using people from my town and from our town to that God, even just the people that we've lost already likely to slave labor. Not good. Certainly
No.
Something needs to be done about that. Any other prospects?
Like I said, we found a couple in the woods kind of to the north. We found a couple different pockets of mineral deposits that could sustain us for a little bit longer. At least, it's going to be a little bit of a pain to get it in, and we obviously don't want to start digging down anymore here in Tin Town. So we're going to kind of spread out a little bit, and we think that we can probably keep it going for at least enough to sustain the town and keep people working for a little bit longer. Give us time to decide whether or not we want to open this mine back up, build up a plan. And it doesn't have to be right now. It buys us a time. We have at least, I would say, a couple weeks to a month worth of minerals that we can sell out of those deposits we found.
Well, what would you like from me then?
Honestly, if you I don't know if you have any reason to, but until there's a lot of potential mining opportunities over towards the Ebon Ridge, but with like I said, I'm not sending out any more of our people over there. If you and your friends feel like you might have a little bit better luck, I've seen you fight. I think that obviously if you want to do what you did to old Cigarette to the brothers over there and are able to find them, then we might be able to maybe we could take some of those opportunities for ourselves.
Right. Is these brothers, are they Knowles? What do you know of them?
Nobody knows, honestly. That wasn't in character. Chess couldn't have made a pun. No, I honestly don't know. These are all
inspiration.
Yeah, these are all rumors that are just coming around.
What?
We knew about the Ebon Depths, the name, for a while now, probably for several months, but it wasn't competition. They weren't taking from us. The minerals that come out of the Ebon Ridge is different than what we're mining out of the ground here in Tin Town. So it was never a problem. But as these rumors grew about their methods and what they're doing to the people that are working for them, forcefully or otherwise,
right,
it's disgusting to say the least.
Right. Well, I reckon that me companions will likely take on that task. We have another opportunity to the north that could lead to more supplies that we were considering, but I'll let you know before I head out.
Yeah, like I said, we're good for the short term, and so if you can get that taken care of, we can get that squared away. That's going to open up a lot of opportunities for us, and maybe we don't even have to open up the mine, or maybe we can at least build up enough weaponry and whatever else to be able to open it safely.
Yes, that would be a deal, but I think maybe if we do find ourselves near the Ebon Depths, we can. Maybe they're likely having the same problem with those creatures that we are if they're going down, and maybe we'll find a solution to that from the other end.
Sounds good. And he just kind of goes, he just kind of starts going back, and he's just looking over the notes again as you kind of head back out. Where are you heading?
I would say back over to the group.
Okay. Is there anything? So, I know that we're getting to the point where we need to probably start wrapping up. What is everyone wanting to do? Probably. I don't know if you want to stay up for another 24 hours. If you want to just bed down. If you go to sleep now, you're going to be waking up around it's the morning right now, so you're probably waking up around mid to late afternoon.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think Glenn would be okay if we wanted to take the rest of the night and then wake up kind of next day.
Okay.
Traveling at night's dangerous.
Where's everyone going to as far as sleeping?
Cosmo's going home.
Cosmo's going home. Okay, so Cosmo goes home. Your mother is absolutely elated to see you. Gives you a huge hug and chides you for not saying goodbye to her before you left. And makes you some delicious. Of course, she's mad at you, but also she's very happy to see you and makes you some delicious dwarven lizard stew. The real song of your people. And Rangrim, where are you going to bed down tonight?
Rangrim would be staying at the livery, continuing to work on the cart. Okay.
Awesome. So you're kind of are you working through the night then?
Not through the whole night. I would probably end up taking, because it's the daytime. So
it's the morning right now. Yeah, sorry. Your guys' fucking sleep schedule is all kinds of messed up.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're trying to correct that.
Yeah.
So where he'd be working through the day and then bedding down in the cart in the back of it after he makes some.
Oh, gotcha. So you guys are staying up and then going to bed at night.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna take this day of whatever we're doing right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you for fixing that. Awesome. Sweet. Oh my gosh, Glenn, where are you going to sleep tonight?
So during the day, Glenn would spend some time in the magic library.
Okay. So you're going back to the Legends Guild?
Yes.
Okay, quick thing. You get back there, and the entire board is fucking covered in paper and notes and everything because your wacky waving inflatable looper has been absolutely working. So most of it is it's completely covered. But most of it's like well wishes and people that are like really excited about the fact that you're back open. There's like a bunch of congratulations, and then there are just like a lot of petty quests. There as you're kind of like pulling like in the petty quests are like just things like, oh hey, like I lost this thing, like I think I
My
left
cat
it
got
over
stuck in a tree.
things like that. Absolutely. But while you're clearing this board off and kind of like going through all these, you're standing in front of the board, you hear like the soft footsteps of someone kind of like almost like shuffling footsteps coming up behind you, and you hear, hello, are you open?
I turn around with a half smile on my face and I go, "How could you tell?"
You see a very, very old human man who is like very crouched over and is just like has like a cane and just very. You may have seen this person around town from time to time, and just roll me a history check to see if you know his name.
That's a 9 total.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know this old man's name. You've seen him around though. He's been there as long as you've been in town, at the very least. And you know he just you see him from time to time, never at like the bar or anything like that, but just in passing. You probably saw him in the crowd when during any of the events that have happened. But I have some sort of I understand that you take on requests for finding things and helping others.
So, as sneakily as possible, I start to pull the poisoned blade behind my back.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think this person is yeah, I don't think they would react to that at all, especially
So
because
just kind of have it in my hand.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah. So what can I do for you, old man? What was your name? I've seen you around town, but I don't think ever.
My name is Oswin.
Oswin, very very nice to meet you. What exactly do you need help taking care of? We actually are just heading out of town tomorrow morning. Maybe we might be able to.
That would be so kind. I saw that you had opened this back up again. I'm very very happy to see that. I came here years ago with my father, and I originally was from the Highwood down south, the lower Highwood near the river. Years ago, we were living down there as a child, and he's kind of like rambling on, and you're like, okay, fucking get to the point. But he's just telling this story that we were happy down there as a family with my mother and father, but something dark and came into our forest, and nightmares started creeping in, and madness crept into our family, and my father and I were able to escape, but my mother was driven mad and died in the night, and we I don't know how much time I have left, but my father's armor was left behind at our house, and I would love to see it one last time. If you would be kind enough to see if it is able to be retrieved.
I think that's absolutely something we can take care of for you. I mean, I don't see us necessarily making an immediate trip to the High Wood, and as you mentioned, you might not have a lot of time. So, you mind maybe marking it on a map for us? And we'd love to, make the trip back for you. But I don't want you waiting on bated breath for us. That seems unfair to you.
I don't know honestly how much breath I have left, but I'm happy to pay in advance for any kind of expedition I can pay for. And he like pulls this like out from his back. It probably alarms you quite a lot because he's like pulling something out, like you don't like want his hand where his hippie at. So he pulls this like really heavy sack of gold out, and kind of like holds it out to you, and you can see his arms kind of struggling as he's like moving it towards you. What
Cast
do you
Mage Hand, and I take it from him without closing the distance.
Okay.
I keep him at afar. I don't have it invisible. I like obviously cast it here and like float it to him, but I like then take the gold.
It falls right through the mage hand because it's too heavy.
Well, Oswin, I think you are speaking more of my language than I think you would have known. It turns out common and gold just really work for everybody. Where are you staying? Might be able to swing on by, and if we don't find this armor, happily return the gold. Seems unfair.
He just turns around. He points to like a pretty like a small but pretty kind of like doesn't seem like it's been maintained very well. But it's just kind of like a smaller shack over on one of the higher levels.
Do I remember anybody living in that shack?
It hasn't like grabbed your attention at all in any way, shape, or form. You've probably seen lights on there, but not really like it's not like it's been like parties all night or anything of that sort. It's been pretty quiet over in that location.
Okay.
But I don't have a map that I can draw for you, but if you go south and hit the river that flows out of the Vonhurst Loch and follow it into the Highwood, you'll come across what remains of hopefully our home. It should be just along the river there.
Does your estate or your home have any significant markings, or was there a name to your estate? It sounds like with a bundle of gold like that, you might have, some kind of clout within the area.
I appreciate your kind words, but this is what the savings of a man who doesn't have anyone else to pass it on to looks like.
I know a dwarf that you'd get just along with. Well, you know what, Oswin? Why don't we go ahead and call it a day? I'm about to close up the doors and bring down the inflatable waving Luthor because he seems to be drawing a little too much attention. But I hope you find your way home safe, and I'll send someone over to check in on you. You seem like a really nice guy who maybe just needs a little bit of attention here and there. We can make that happen for you.
He thanks you and kind of slowly, very slowly, makes his way up and carefully up to his home. And I don't know how long you watch him. I don't know if you have 3 hours to watch him.
Whole goddamn time. When he turns away, can I do a investigation check to see if I can see through a disguised self?
Yeah, sure.
Don't trust anybody.
How he's going to improve his perception is just by being suspicious of everybody.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Cosmo, you look weird. Did you get a haircut? Stab. 13.
You don't see through any disguised self, but you do see through his nearly translucent, paper thin skin to his veins below.
Damn. Okay, so after he's like good and gone, I pick up the gold. I very cautiously inspect it for traps, any spring-loaded darts that might be poisoned or anything.
Regalia jumps out of it and cuts your throat. No,
that's not how that spell works.
you find a mix of platinum and gold in there that equates to about 2,000 gold pieces.
Holy shit. Okay, tight. Mental note. Remember 2,000 gold. That's great. Taking a little bit of back, it's like old man might have been onto something. And then I go into the house, and after a thorough inspection to see if I can find anybody who's hiding in the home or Luther's Legends,
Regalia jumps out again and cuts your throat again.
God damn her. I spend like the rest of the day in the magic library reading about aberrant magic and like what types of wards exist to prevent it from taking full effect, what you can do to not be overtaken by it, anything along those lines. Like just trying to really read as much as possible about specifically that type of magic. And I'm sorry, you pulled it was aberrant magic from Cedric. I'm not metagaming, right? He said it was...
No. It's aberration. So aberration, when you're looking up aberrations in this book and like the kind of magic that they use, there's different kinds. Aberrations consist of a bunch of different creatures. There's aboleths, there's beholders, and there's mind flayers. And they're all things that are essentially of an unnatural nature. They don't derive from the natural order of things. Their origins are alien, essentially.
Okay.
And you look into the magic that is the little bit that's known of Mind Flayer magic, and you know that it is mostly psionic based. It's all mind based. They don't actually have any kind of arcane magic that you know of. There are different kinds of Mind Flayers that have taken on arcane magic of sorts, and they become almost alienated from the Mind Flayer community. So like most of it is all psionic based, and that's kind of what you find out from your research.
Okay, and then just as the day starts to dwindle, I like lock up the shed, lock up the magic like sliding door, and then hop into the hot tub, and I set Poe directly just watching the door, and if anything comes through that thing, high alert, and then I trance out to end of the day.
Okay, awesome. So if that can actually we can get ready to wrap up the session there. So Rangrim, as you're kind of you've worked on this cart and you've kind of like put in a hard day's work, and then you're sleeping in the livery, or you're going back to Madge's to sleep?
I would be sleeping in the back of the cart. I think he would just be putting it in and then just hopping in with his gross, I'm assuming, bedroll.
Yeah, it's a pretty like hefty smell. Like you've been able to like scrub out some of this this nastiness out of this cart, but it's still like it's pretty deep into that wood. And so you're bedding down for the night, and you're kind of like, as your mind's quieting and you're settling down, you start noticing that like there's this kind of like growing awareness of like almost just like this burnt, slight like mild burning in your hand, and you see that symbol again is on your palm is burning, that kind of like slightly orange color, and just this dull pain, and you get this weird sense, and it's something you haven't had before, but it's a connection with more. You feel like this tether, like this almost that you can't see through anything. You can't like, you just feel like someone else is feeling this too, and maybe more than one person is feeling this too at the same time you are. But you feel this vague connection with another being, or a multitude of other beings, and it eventually you're able to kind of like, it kind of dulls and goes away, and this connection kind of like fades, and you're able to find sleep. But that is where we're gonna end the session tonight.
Dude, what kind of old man just has 2,000 gold?
Kind you pull a knife on in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
It's a hoarder of gold. He's a red dragon.
He is a red dragon.
Red dragon. Fuck.
I'm glad I didn't stab him then.